In your headlines, several bodies retrieved by the TCI Royal Police Force. Debate on the beach and coastal vending bill continues, and shooting in Snake Hill, Blue Hills leaves one injured. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your number one source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Wednesday, December 1st, 2021, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. On the 29th of November, the NHIB conducted a patient satisfactory survey from which came very positive results from over 100 patients. Here's more. Interim CEO of the National Health Insurance Board, Tamara Howell-Robinson, said, "Our aim is to ensure that our contributors receive affordable and accessible health care." She added, "This survey was created to ensure that all areas are working together to give the best possible patient experience." Sources tell us that the survey questions presented a broad scope in which the organization can use to map out its strengths and weaknesses, to which nearly all patients had a very or extremely professional experience with the NHIP team. The board tells us that most patients had their experience met or expectations exceeded, with nearly 80% of the survey respondents experienced far above average service when visiting their respective health care center. Honorable Jamel Robinson, Minister of Health, said, "The treatment abroad program of the National Health Insurance Board is one that works and that is evident with the results of this survey." He continued, "This survey tells us that patients are being cared for the right way, and where there is room for improvement, the National Health Insurance Board, alongside the Ministry of Health, will ensure that those improvements are made to better service the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands." Sources say that the survey evaluated patients who are covered by the NHIP and seeking medical attention at the various overseas locations, which include Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Cayman Islands, and the Bahamas. Howell-Robinson said, "We have fully assessed the outcome of the survey, and of course, there are a few areas of concern that we as an organization will work tirelessly to correct. We will monitor the progress of those areas that presented challenges and continue to strengthen all areas within the program." She continued, "I'd like to thank the team at the National Health Insurance Board for providing a commendable level of service to patients whom we know are prone to vulnerability due to their state of health. I also want to thank those that participated in this survey. By doing so, you are helping us to better help you." The debate on the beach and coastal vending bill continues into Tuesday afternoon before being passed in the House of Assembly, amid confusion from the public about what it actually entails. Newswatch takes a look at the provisions in the proposed law.
As per the explanatory note contained in the Beach and Coastal Vending Bill 2021, the proposed legislation seeks to respond to the major challenges and concerns resulting from an upsurge of vending activity on the beach and coastal areas of the TCI. The bill will, upon passage and enactment by the governor, provide a system of regulating beach vending in a way where persons can go through a process of approval to afford them to be well regulated and monitored in provisions of services to the public. The bill also seeks to provide a monitoring and enforcement mechanism to ensure the safety and protection in beaches and coastal areas of the islands, including where beach vending activities are conducted. In the House of Assembly today, a spirited debate on the provisions of the document continued.
Persons think that we as cabinet members, we as members of the House of Assembly are thrusted upon legislation and policy and told in that sacred cabinet room, you have to support it, you cannot amend it, you cannot represent the people, you cannot change it. Mr. Speaker, that is not the case. And as the Minister of Tourism so eloquently gave the backstory to how we got here last week and now this week, seeking the support of members to pass this legislation, that we have heard the people. We have listened to the various public consultations that the people had on their own, that we reviewed the stakeholder consultations that had been taking place from last year, 2020, October, as our appointed member very clearly demonstrated with documentary evidence. This is nothing new. Mr. Speaker. We have heard the concerns of licensed vendors on the street, on the various markets and the beaches saying, I am competing with someone who's leasing, subleasing their unit to persons who are not from these islands. I am competing with persons who are employing persons who don't have a work permit, making them irregular migrants. What is my government prepared to do to protect my livelihood, Mr. Speaker? We've heard this. The minister has heard this. So the minister and her team, and I want to thank them, they're here in the gallery, Mr. Speaker, came to cabinet not on one occasion, not on two, 4 separate occasions as we sought to perfect the policy to protect the vending and the coastal concerns that we have as a people in these islands.
A contentious provision in the bill was the new guidelines regarding special events. The Honorable Rachel Taylor sought to bring about some clarity on this and why it is needed.
Clause 14 of this bill seemed to have stirred up the greatest contention. A person shall not conduct any special event on any beach or coastal area without a permit. Mr. Speaker, the special events speak to those for commercial gain. Commercial gain. So, Mr. Speaker, if I take my family to the beach, it's free. It has always and will continue to be free. But, Mr. Speaker, you know why I like this bill? Because this bill takes into consideration the generation of large crowds. So therefore, like our MP, the government's appointed member spoke to the notification. I just want to add just a little piece there. The notification will definitely include a phone call as well as filling in that form, because it gives those persons at DECR the opportunity to capture those persons who are actually on the beach at a particular time. You know what I like about that? It gives the opportunity for DECR to put the manpower in place to protect those large gatherings. Isn't that a great bill, Mr. Speaker? Isn't it a great bill? I say yes.
The bill sets out the authority who will be responsible for authorizing license and permits. This, as referenced in the document, will be a beach vending committee, which will oversee all beach vending and coastal commercial activity in the islands. This committee will also be responsible for the consideration and issue of license for beach vending, while the director of the DECR will be responsible for the issue of permits for special events. Another part of the bill sets out the requirement to obtain permits for special events and license to conduct vending activities. The bill sets out how the Beach Patrol Unit will go about monitoring and enforcing these rules. The Beach Patrol Unit will be assisted by the conservation officers appointed under the Fisheries Protection Ordinance and by members of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force. The bill clearly outlines the powers given to the officers of the Beach Patrol Unit and conservation officers and the police officer's assistant. Another section of the bill documents the offenses, sanctions, and penalties. Under this part, various sanctions are provided, including offenses with a penalty on conviction by a fine or imprisonment, or ticket offenses which can be discharged on payment of a fixed penalty. The bill further sets out zoning areas where vending will be permitted. The location of vending and zones will be specified in the vendor's license. The bill goes further and provides that all vendors and all employees must wear a uniform and use an identification card during the hours of their operations. There is a clause within the bill that allows vendors to make an appeal to the relevant minister when they are aggrieved by decisions taken by the Beach Vending Committee, and for appeal to the Beach Committee for persons aggrieved by decisions of the Director of the DECR. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Els.
We'll be right back with more news, so don't touch that remote.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to The Real News. A shooting in Snake Hill, Blue Hills, left one man injured and another running for his life. Sources tell Newswatch the incident unfolded around 9 p.m. on Tuesday.
A 36-year-old man was shot once in the leg and grazed during that shooting incident that took place at Snake Hill Road, Blue Hills. Newswatch understands that despite his condition, the victim was able to drive himself to the hospital to receive emergency attention and is currently in stable condition after bullets grazed the side of his abdomen, his face, and one lodged in his right leg. Reliable sources shared with Newswatch that the 2 masked men approached the area, which we understand is a popular hangout. It would appear that the men saw the assailants approaching and were able to run. However, one was shot in the progression of the crime. For now, there is no word on a motive for the shooting. If you have any information regarding this incident, please call police at 911 or Crime Stoppers to leave tips anonymously. Newswatch will have more as the story develops.
Unfortunate news of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands police force last evening. Rescue officers have recovered several bodies from the water in the Northwest Point area following Monday night's tragic incident. Details in this report.
Police reported Tuesday evening that certain rescue personnel recovered 7 irregular migrants from Haiti in waters in the Northwest Point area. The rescue operation followed an accident that occurred at about 9:40 p.m. on Monday, when marine officers on board the MV Sea Guardian were trying to intercept an illegal vessel nearing land. At that time, a collision occurred. The illegal vessel carrying several migrants capsized, sending several people overboard. Some were rescued, some escaped, and as police informed late yesterday, a few of them perished at sea. When the search and rescue mission continued into Tuesday morning, police say they were able to recover 64 people from the water, but unfortunately, 7 had already died. Acting Commissioner of Police Kendall Grant had words of condolences for the families of the deceased, saying that the rescue team were hoping for the best. Quote, "Unfortunately, we are now dealing with a tragedy. It is unclear how many irregular migrants were on board the vessel. However, the search will continue." The acting commissioner adds that the force has fully utilized all of its marine assets with support from the TCI Regiment, Immigration Task Force, the Department of Environment and Coastal Resources, as well as the U.S. Coast Guard. Those rescued from the waters and those who tried to escape on foot but were apprehended are now in immigration custody. The recovery efforts are continuing today, Wednesday, December 1st. An article published in the Washington Post in November reported that as of October, the U.S. Coast Guard had intercepted over 1,500 Haitians at sea in the previous 12 months. This is 3 times the number seen in 2020, and the highest on record in at least 5 years. They related that Coast Guard officers have found vessels carrying upward of 200 people on precarious boats en route to the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, and the United States. Hundreds more have been caught after reaching islands in the Caribbean. According to the Washington Post article, which relates the story of an illegal sloop captain, the increase this year relates directly to the political instability brought on by the assassination of the president, Jovenel Moïse, followed closely by the devastation wrought by the 7.0 magnitude earthquake and the resultant economic decline. The Post article further details that those who risk their lives to make the perilous journey by sea, destination USA, pays them $250 for the trip. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
We'll be right back with more news, so don't touch that remote.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
The Interscholastic Basketball League's 26th Annual Basketball Championship is about to begin. Playoff and championship schedule kicks off with Game 1 on Friday, December 10th, 2021. We'll see the Maranatha Academy play H.J. Robinson High at 3:30 p.m. Game 2 on Saturday, the 11th of December, 2021. Clement Howell High play against the Margie Basin High School. Both teams will be vying for their place in the final at 6 p.m. Subsequently, the league will be tying up loose ends with losers of Game 1 and 2 competing for third place at 5:30 p.m. Then finally, the championship game will see the winners of Game 1 and 2 showdown at 7 p.m. For your Sports Authority, I'm Ali Harvey.
Here's your weather forecast for December 2nd, 2021. On the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 83, low 78, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For South Caicos on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 83, low 78, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos on Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 84, low 76, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Parrot and Pine Key on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 83, low 77, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And for Providenciales on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 83, low 77, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:13 a.m., sunset 5:06 p.m. For your high tides and low tides, high tide 5:20 a.m., 5:44 p.m., low tide 11:44 a.m. and 11:46 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The Do It Center team will be at Horse Stable Beach in North Caicos to spread a little Christmas to the residents of North and Middle Caicos on December 2nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. They'll be bringing food, drinks, and gifts for the senior citizens. See flyer for more details. Here's another story that made this edition of Newswatch.
With occurrences of overcrowding, particularly on the weekends, and with the recent rainy weather that highlighted multiple leaks, it is evident that the Providenciales International Airport is in need of major repairs.
Providenciales Airport, I am happy to report that the decision was taken to engage in the public-private partnership for the redevelopment of the Providenciales International Airport. To this end, the government has decided to hire a consultant to assist in conducting technical, legal, environmental, and financial assessment of the airport in order to define an appropriate scope, structure, and risk allocation for the public-private partnership transaction through the required technical and legal studies required that ensures maximizing the value for the use of public resources for the modernization and operation of the airport. Develop a comprehensive tender document for the bidding process, conduct a transparent bidding procedure to attract a private investor to finance, design, expand, operate, and maintain the airport. And last but not least, lead in the implementation of the PPP program. The TOR has been devised and drafted, and the invitation to tender prepared is being circulated for comments ahead of the tender process.
The airport in Providenciales has seen double-digit growth in passenger arrivals. However, it has also led to congestion and a not-so-good experience for visitors. Officials are looking to invest some $3.4 million to avoid long lines and discomfort. An update on the short-term fix was also highlighted.
The canopy is still in the tender stage. It was not yet awarded. And so as soon as that is being done, we will give update on the kickoff and the completion time. It will take about 5 weeks to complete. Okay. So most of the work will be done even at night. So it would not take a long time in the billing process. The canopy will be, first of all, a shade for passengers to walk from the aircraft to the terminal building and vice versa. Also, we will use it at times as a holding cell if the international arrival hall is congested. We could still get passengers off the aircraft and they could hold there until the hall can accept them. However, it's also increased the safety measure for passengers walking on the tarmac. As it stands now, we only have a rope there where they're walking through, so it will give increased safety to the passengers deplaning and also boarding the aircraft.
The acting chief operations officer also noted that there will not be any seating available and highlighted the holding capacity of arriving passengers.
There will not be seating in the canopy. It will be standing room. It all depends on the position of the aircraft where it's located. However, the canopy can hold at least about 2 to 3 aircraft capacity. So if they're standing, and if according to where the aircraft parked on the ramp, we can hold about 3 aircraft in the canopy. It will run parallel to the passenger walkway as it is now, where it's been defined by rope. It will run straight down to the far west parking stand and directly to arrival and departure hall. So it will connect into the departure hall, so persons boarding the aircraft could come out of the departure hall and go straight to the canopy and then to the aircraft. And likewise, the arrival hall, they will go directly and there will be shade throughout. So they will be shaded from the elements during this time.
An update was also given on the airport throughout the sister islands, including the preparation of Jakes McCartney Airport for international flights.
Grand Turk Airport, I am happy to report that works and plans are on the way to ready the Jakes McCartney International Airport in Grand Turk.
The Twin Islands also saw an update coming from their elected representative, who pointed out that a developer has already signed a memorandum of understanding with the Turks and Caicos Islands government.
As Minister for the North Caicos, Middle and North Caicos constituency, I am ecstatic to inform that an MOU has been signed between the TCIG and a developer for the redevelopment of North Caicos Airport. As it stands, I also am not permitted to disclose any further details as not to jeopardize the progress of this initiative, but know that big plans are coming for Middle and North Caicos, and we cannot wait to have them delivered.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Penales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.